It's got like no compression. I'm literally running out of ideas, Tom. I just don't understand why it's not starting. Welcome back to German Autowerks, where we're going to be fitting Ricky from LLF's 1400 horsepower B58 into his lightweight M2 converted M140i drag car. Now, this particular engine is already a bit famous on the internet, and that's because you would have seen it on Ricky's previous videos.
This car is sick, man. I don't care what anyone says.
The car was previously at Tom Wrigley Performance. It is now here because we are sharing the workload a little bit. We've been doing a wiring loom strip on the car, and whilst it's here, we thought we might as well get this engine fitted, and that's what we're doing today. Quick recap on this car. It started off as a 116i, it then got converted to a B58 along with a full M2 body conversion, rear arches, front bumper, the whole lot. So let's get on with fitting this 3.4 litre stroked B58 in 10 minutes. Right, let's get this 3.4 litre beast of a B58 fitted into the car. First thing we've got to do though is get the old engine out. So to do that, we're going to lift it up in the air and take the exhaust down. Then we're going to start working on the prop shaft, because the prop shaft is connected to the gearbox. Once that's out the way, we're going to start taking out all the fluids and the electrical stuff on the gearbox. And I absolutely hate getting gearbox fluid on my hands. It stinks. Next, it's the engine oil. That's going to help us keep it nice and clean when it's down. Then we're going to move on to removing all the electrical components underneath the engine, like the steering rack and all of the lines that connect to it. We're going to unbolt the gearbox and get it down. Nice and easy. Then we're going to take the wheels off because we need to start taking apart the engine bay. We're going to drop the engine down with the subframe connected, so I just need to disconnect all the electrical components, get the fan out the way, disconnect the coolant lines from on top and underneath. Tom then rides on the pallet truck and we're almost ready to drop it down. After I literally clean the floor, I get coolant all over it again, which you can see I'm well happy about. Next, we lower the car fully down, then we disconnect the subframe. We can then lift the car up, leaving the engine connected, and this way, it's just so much easier. So we've got the old engine out, and now we're going to strip it all down, get all the parts off, ready to go on the new engine. Now, Joel and I are absolutely hyperlapsing getting this engine apart. We need to take off all of the components that are going to be swapped over to the 3.4. That's turbo, manifolds, wiring looms, pretty much everything. This engine's going to be left bare. So all the old parts laid out on the table here, ready to go back on the new block. Joel is going to get fitting all of those bits. With the engine on the stand, I whip the rocker cover off. I just want to check it's all right. It's had new cams and everything's been apart. With that all okay, Joel fits the bird nest of the wiring loom. Luckily, he knows where it all goes. Then I start to fit the high pressure fuel lines. It's starting to look like an engine. And how good does this custom billet intake manifold look? Absolutely beautiful, all the way from Texas, RK Autowerks, going on the B58. Now this is my favourite part, installing everything on the new engine. I'm working on putting the coils in and the coil pack wiring loom. Also, the turbocharger's going on. Yes, this is just a standard one for now because we just need the car running to run in the engine. After that, I replace all of the nuts and bolts, and then I replace the O-rings on the oil lines because the old ones are pretty crispy. Then I get everything torqued to spec, and that's that part done. We then move on to getting the engine mount in and also the downpipe connected. Just loose for now, but it's connected in place. Joel's then working on getting all of the coolant lines in. I can't believe how many coolant lines there are on a B58. It's ridiculous. Good thing we're BMW techs and we know exactly where they all go. Joel gets on with that, and then we're ready for that awesome billet intake manifold. As you can see, this manifold had multi-point injection as well. So this car's going to have 12 fuel injectors. Now the car has an M2 body on it, but it didn't have M2 subframe. So we're going to convert it. Here we have a nice aluminium M2 subframe, nice and light, you can just literally pick it up. And there's some key benefits here. One, as I said, it's aluminium. Two, it has extra mounting points here and here. And 3, the geometry is much better on an M car than a non-M. We then have brand new engine mounts, and along with that, we've got these lovely Motorsport parts. Now what these do is, you can see here that they would insert into the engine mount. The reason being is, these can actually move side to side. Great for an OEM car, but this one with that much power is going to have quite a lot of twisting torque on the engine mount. So we're going to fit those in there. And like I say, these are actually Motorsport parts, and that's going to stop the engine from rocking as much as possible. The boys crack on with getting the engine mounted onto the M subframe. Mate, this looks sick. M4 subframe. Then we can make sure everything's pieced together, ready to fit the engine back into the car. Very exciting, we have the 3.4 B58 fitted into the car. Honestly, it was a bit of a mission because we did so much custom stuff, but it is now sitting on a M234 aluminium subframe, better geometry, sitting there all nice, B58. It's gonna make some horsepower. Obviously the turbo on it at the moment is stock, and that's all gonna get changed. So yeah, super excited. All we've got to do now is get all of this plugged in. So that will all go in nicely over there. That will go in somewhere over there. Let's just get it done. Once in the car, we then had to get the wiring looms all plugged in, and also we had to fit the gearbox. Now the gearbox that's going into this car eventually will be heavily modified, but at the moment we're just going to put back in the stock gearbox so that the engine can be run in.
Right, so we're shedding more weight here. We've taken the AC compressor out. We've taken all the heater box and all the lines out. That should be around 20 to 25 kilos. And then we're going to replace this with this pulley here. That goes in place with this so we can keep the auxiliary belt in the same place.
Right, now we're into the exciting stage of filling up the engine and all the cooling systems with their fluids. Before we talk about that though, we have our AC delete pulley in there. So as you can see what Joel said earlier, that deletes the AC compressor. We've got rid of all of the lines and the heater box as well, saving a decent 20 kilos. We've also got some nice OEM coolant caps. That's really good for things like this, where the RK Autowerks part doesn't have the bleed line. So literally we can just put that on there, nice and OEM. We've got different sizes of those too, where we've used them in other places around the car where we've got rid of things. So let's get the fluids in.
Is it going to start?
Well, I hope so.
Well, obviously.
Well, it's literally like a 40 grand engine. So, well, I guess you're going to find out. Right, is it going to start? Well, you know, it's not just an easy engine swap. This is a proper built engine. It's 3.4 litres instead of 3 litres, and it's on a OEM tune, so literally we don't know. Has the engine been built properly? We don't know. So I guess so. I mean, every faith in the company that did it, but you never know until you turn it on. So let's see what kind of noises it makes. And do we have any faults? Drivetrain fault, good start. Cannot detect key, there we go. Oh, Christmas tree, all right. Not too bad, probably about 9 out of 10 lights on there. Let's turn it over, build up some oil pressure.
Making noise.
It's got oil pressure now, so let's plug in the injector power and see if it starts. Let's go. All right, I'm a bit scared to be honest. In fact, I'm very scared. But we just got to send it, see what happens. Here we go. It's not good. It's not good.
No!
Oh! Oh!
It went then.
All right, ready?
Yep. Yes!
Yes! Yes! Great success. Honestly, mate, obviously it starts. We just put that stuff in at the beginning for like dramatic effect. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, well, you know, did it actually not start and then they put it in? No. It was always gonna start, mate. We're a BMW garage, come on! All right, so that's us done here. Obviously, there's a lot of work still to do on the car. It is gonna go off now for its turbo. We've done a lot of stuff. We've put an M2 subframe on. We've done a full wiring loom strip. We're literally gonna build the interior up when it's done. We're gonna do a rear axle refresh as well. So if you wanna see more of us working on this car, you're gonna have to ask Ricky to bring it back. So if you wanna get stuff like this done to your BMW, head over to our website, fill in the customer form, and we'll be happy to help. We do things like track cars, race cars, or just ordinary maintenance and repair on road cars. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're trying to grow this as big as we can, and I'll catch you next time.